Hello everybody, welcome back to Killer Film Reviews. Today I will be reviewing the film Spider-Man 2, 2004. So this is a Tobey Maquire film that often gets overlooked, because Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 1 kind of overshadow it quite a bit. But I think this film kind of carries on with themes of adulthood, with learning that there's some things you can no longer do as you age when you get older, because there's several instances of that in this movie. We have a couple of callbacks, of course, to the original Spider-Man 1 in this. So let's get on to our cast list. So we have Tobey Maquire as Spider-Man, Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, James Franco as Harry Osborn, the lovely Rosemary Harris as May Parker, J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, Donna Murphy as Rosalie Octavius, Daniel Gillies as John Jameson, Dylan Baker as Dr. Kirk Connors, Bill Nunn as Joseph Robbie Robertson, and Vanessa Ferlito as Luis. And of course, Wilhelm Dafoe as Green Goblin, and Cliff Robertson as Ben Parker, and Ted Raimi as Hoffman. So basically throughout this film, you kind of see the exploration of Spider-Man getting used to kind of early adulthood, kind of outside of high school, kind of learning things, still going to college and stuff, and having the pizza delivery job is kind of interesting, honestly, in my opinion, as it's really showing how you have to be on time for things, because I've struggled with that myself at times in my life, especially early on in my jobs when I was first starting out. Sometimes I'd be late here or there, kind of for little things, mostly weather-related stuff, or sometimes I'd wake up a little late, but I think, honestly, all of us have been there in our lives at one point or another. Honestly, it's all about just trying to find your way in life. That's what I feel this film kind of represents. It represents a transitional film, as normally the sequels kind of do. You're kind of getting Spider-Man growing up and accepting that things can't go back to the way that they used to be. Pretty much because his hero, his Uncle Ben is gone. He is gone. Now, there is some little sequences here or there where he shows up. Little sections here or there where he shows up. Not really that much. You kind of see the guilt from May Parker in this film as well. She's kind of very down still about his passing, because it's only been 2 years since the last film and the canonical timeline of the film. So basically, we have her being sorrowful. Peter eventually kind of goes up to her and admits the truth eventually later down the line through the film. But our big stars of this film, of course, is Alfred Molina as Doc Ock and Tobey Maquire as Spider-Man. And, of course, Kirsten Dunst as Jamie Watson, Mary Jane Watson. This film kind of does explore the relationship more in detail, kind of where Peter's just shy, nervous around women still. He doesn't really know how to really talk to them and stuff. I think we all feel that as guys, at one point or another. We're just not sure what to say. We're kind of just like, do we sit there and approach you this way or that way? We don't want this stuff to go the wrong way. Honestly, when it comes to kind of dating and stuff, I'm more like Mordecai. I'm kind of bound to screw things up, like Mordecai from Regular Show. Little reference there. But yeah, I honestly understand where Peter's coming from in this film, where he's shy to admit to Mary Jane that he likes her and he loves her and stuff. I had a girl I liked a long time ago. We got along, danced at prom and all that stuff, but just kind of broke up in college there. Things happen. You just kind of got to get over stuff. I still think about her sometimes. She was a positive influence on my life. Not a day goes by where I don't remember those good times, but again, this film is about kind of moving on, not staying in the past, that sort of thing, because basically Peter's kind of still processing stuff from the last film in some ways. And of course, James Franco as Harry Osborn just really doesn't understand. He thinks that Spider-Man ended his father's life, Norman Osborn's life, what I mean. And yeah, there is some cameos towards the end of the film with him in it. You know, spoiler alert there, but I'm sure some of you have already seen this film. But yeah, you know, is there anything that really kind of stood out to me about this film versus the first one? I guess it's just kind of more transitional in nature. No real big festivals like the first film, but honestly, you can't go wrong with that first film's, you know, Nutmeg Fantasy, I think it's called. That song is so catchy, honestly. I sometimes load that up when I'm going out somewhere and I'll just listen to it. It's just like, feels like I'm back in time inside Spider-Man 1. Like I'm watching it for the first time every time I hear that song. But honestly, I think that the pacing is just right. I'm sure if it was walking on, it's like Raindrop on My Head or something like that. That song plays for a good sequence and Peter's walking down the boulevard. People don't remember that, of course, because this film gets often overshadowed by Spider-Man 3 and what a mixed bag that film was. Obviously, we'll get to that film eventually in my review efforts. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get to every film at once. You know, I gotta take time because I'm working full-time and all that. What else can we really get into about this film? Doc Ock, his design in this film versus Spider-Man No Way Home pretty much close together. Like for No Way Home, they had to DH him, of course, because it had been so long. But honestly, like when you connect the timelines to MCU and this one, pretty much after Dr. Ock pretty much explodes the reactor, I believe. Then he shows up to Spider-Man's universe and he's not sure what's going on, pretty much. But yeah. And honestly, out of all the Spider-Man villains from the Tobey Maquire series, I think obviously the two ones that obviously come to mind first are almost always Green Goblin first and Doc Ock for me. Topher Grace's Venom was just a terrible performance. I'll save that more for when I get to the Spider-Man 3 review, obviously. But when you look at modern times compared to these films, you can obviously see where they did good and where they did bad. This film ended up actually winning an Oscar for Best Visual Effects, which is pretty nice. I know about the whole Will Smith slap Chris Rock stuff. I know. Very unprofessional Will Smith, but yeah. I don't think a lot of us watch the Oscars anyway. Just a lot of Hollywood snobs kind of just showing off their prestige and all that. Yeah. Honestly, where we go from here is that the whole film structure is basically Peter's kind of failing at life, pretty much. He's being late to this, being late to that, being late to Mary Jane's play, being late to his job, getting fired from his job, and being late to get home, pretty much not paying rent on time, trying to get advances everywhere he can, getting behind on bills. That's what you call adulting for those who don't know. Paying your bills on time and going to your job even when you feel like crap. You know what I mean? You just kind of understand these things when you're an adult versus a kid. It's a really different lifestyle. Like you get home and you just feel so drained at the end of the day and it's just like, oh, go sit here and watch TV or do I go to bed? Or record a fancy little YouTube video for a nice select audience. Appreciate you all. Honestly, at the end of the day, you know, being an adult, you just kind of appreciate this film more than when you're a kid because you kind of understand it better. As a kid, you don't really understand the whole adult aspect to this, just sort of getting older and not having things, you know, feel the same as when you're younger. You feel like a little less energy when you're getting older. Honestly, I'm feeling that a bit now. I obviously can't stay up all night like I used to. Gotta get some rest here and there when I can. Peter sort of experiences this too. He kind of loses his powers for different parts of the film. They kind of go away. Has some back problems too. Because his powers go away and he kind of just falls on stuff when he's trying to jump from buildings and all that. But the scene where he gets his powers back is obviously very, very emotional. It's just like, here we go. He's got his powers back. Time to whoop some ass. I think the scene that people remember the most from this film was obviously the spoiler alert, of course, I'll say that. I should have said that more. But it is the scene where he's trying to hold the train. He's trying to slow down the train. He's trying to pursue Doc Ock, and Doc Ock basically takes out the control with the train, so the train keeps speeding and speeding, and Spider-Man just slows that down. He's being heroic, saving the people, as it were. Honestly, I think the reason why Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man films get a bad rap is because he's more self-centered than Tobey Maquire Spider-Man or Tom Holland Spider-Man. Nothing against Andrew Garfield. His portrayal in No Way Home was a lot better than his films, of course, but honestly, when you think back to Amazing Spider-Man films, the villain I really did not like was the Green Goblin, because he looked absolutely stupid. Looked like he was pulled from the comic books, like they put him in makeup quick and they didn't really give much thought to his character. Honestly, I would rather see James Franco come back in a future multiverse film versus the actor that played the Green Goblin in the Amazing Spider-Man films. I mean, seriously, it just looked silly. I know they have the whole transformation scene and all that, but that's for a different time. Getting back to the main meat and potatoes of this film, all about responsibility, all about growing up and being an adult, not being able to do the same things you could when you're younger, your shyness, awkwardness around women at a young age, when you're in that early 20s days, because you just don't know how to approach them, honestly. Because honestly, all young guys are kind of just be like, oh, what if I say this? What if I say that? Is she gonna get pissed off? Is she gonna reject me? All this stuff, you know. We all of us guys just feel that at the end of the day, and that's why we're always trying to come up with catchy pickup lines to get the women, you know, because it's like, wonder if this catch-up line will work. Apparently, Ahoy there works on the Tinder app, I hear. So I'm just gonna say ahoy there to any women watching this. Always welcome to watch my content. There is good content across all the channels. Feel free to check them out. We'll check out the home section of the page, definitely for that. But wrapping this all kind of up in a nice, neat bow, what do I think of the film at a 10 out of 10 rating? This film always gets a 9 out of 10 for me. Could have made it a 10 out of 10 was just honestly if they spent a little bit more time kind of fleshing out Green Goblin's story a little bit. You know, the new Green Goblin, obviously he's not Green Goblin in this film. He is in the next one. Spoiler alert, of course. I feel like they could have given a little bit more spotlight to how Harry Osborn was feeling during this time. We get a little bit of that, but not really much character development for him. It's basically like, I hate Spider-Man. Go get Spider-Man, Doc Ock. I'll give you the tritium. As the tritium is basically what they use to power the nuclear fusion reaction, which Doc Ock is pretty much centered on getting restarted again because it catastrophically fails the first time. Obviously, in No Way Home, you know, they fixed the inhibitor chip up on those arms or whatever. You get what I mean when you see No Way Home. A super great film, which you should definitely see after this review, of course, after watching Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Now, have I watched Spider-Man 3 again to do a Spider-Man 3 review right after this one? No, sadly no. That will be probably a next week thing, honestly. But did I watch a number 3? Yes, I did. I watched Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon. So that should be the next killer film review after this current video. But I appreciate all of you that stuck around to the end of the video. Your support means a lot to me, and I couldn't do this without you guys. The goal for this channel at the end of the year is just to get up to 250 subscribers. I think we can do it. The next year we can focus on getting up to 500. Obviously on the main, the goal is still to get to 1,000 subscribers. The main channel obviously being the Landedkiller show, where I do World of Warships, World Warplanes, World Tanks content. On and off, I kind of rotate between them. But yeah, a lot of channels, there's 6 of them. Check out the home section of this channel on your mobile device or on your TV. But yes, have a good day and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.